Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to talk to you about why it is so important to have a well-diversified preparedness plan. And since I like to eat, I thought I'd make it about food. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to show you that, well, in a way, I don't just talk to talk. I try to walk the walk as best I can because I've told you in the past that what I share with you are the things that I do. And one of the things that I've often said is that you have to be well diversified, not only in your food preps, but in every preps. But today we're talking about food. So I have a lot of freeze-dried foods. You all know that Nutrient Survival is my favorite, bar none. Why? Because it has all of the nutrients that you need. That is why I like Nutrient Survival the most out of any freeze-dried food there is, bar none. And it also tastes good. It's not something that I have to make myself eat. You know, it's something that like, wow, it's really good. However, there are other freeze-dried food companies out there that provide foods that taste good. Maybe they don't have all the nutrients, but they taste good. Good enough to where you don't have to plug your nose every time you eat it. Now, some of the foods that you see here are some of the freeze-dried foods that I've acquired throughout the years and the different types. And I just want to go through them with you one by one so that I can show you that having even a diverse supply of freeze-dried foods and foods as well is going to be very important for one thing, for food fatigue. For food fatigue, it brings up morale. So for example, let me just show you a couple of things. By the way, you see all of this peak food here? Let me tell you a quick story. Billy from Frontier Preppers introduced me to this. He actually gave me one of these. He actually gave me one of these to try out. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. Well, the first thing I did, of course, what is it? I went back to take a look at the nutritional information, and there's really nothing back there. But I brought it home. I tried it out. And although all of the ones that I've tasted so far are a little bit bland, that's not a bad thing. I think that when you buy freeze-dried foods or long-term food storage, that if they're a little bit bland, that's a good thing. Because then whoever is eating it can make it their own. That's why it's so important to have some spices put away for long term as well. That way, whoever's eating this meal right here, like for example, I like pepper. You know, I like black pepper. So I put more black pepper on this. I put a little bit more salt, and then I put a few dashes of Tabasco sauce in this because I like Tabasco sauce. But you may not. But I made the flavor my own. And it turned out good. It tasted good. What I would do with this is, if I ever have to depend on this, what I will do is this. I will make this, and I'll make some Nutrient Survival eggs, let's say, so that we can have the nutrients in that same meal, and it makes a very good match with this food right here. So this is not bad. The price on these, a little bit pricey. It's probably the most expensive one that you see out of all the ones that I have right here. So you definitely have to be in that part of your preparedness plan where you can afford to go out and buy this kind of stuff. But whatever it is that you buy, whether it be this or just your regular foods, make sure that you're diversified in the things that you get. For example, this is a breakfast dish, right? This is the Nutrient Survival Homestyle Scramble. It's a breakfast dish. It's actually their most popular one that they have. I love this stuff. So why should I have two breakfast dishes of two different brands? Why? Because they have a totally different flavor profile. And if it comes down to the point where you have to rely on only, let's say, your freeze-dried foods in order to get by, you don't want to get stuck eating the exact same thing over and over again. How would life be if all I had to eat every single day for breakfast was this? Maybe for the first week or so, I'd be like, yeah, that's great. You know, I'm looking forward to it because I really like this stuff. But after a week or even 2 weeks or even let's say a month, you'll get sick of it. It doesn't matter how much you like something. It doesn't matter how good it is. If you eat it every single day, if you eat the same flavor profile every single day, you're going to get sick of it. You want to make sure that you have a diversity of foods or a diversity within the foods that you store so that you can bring out a meal every once in a while. Like for example, I don't plan on having these all the time. The Nutrient Survival I eat on a daily basis, but every once in a while I'll make one of these just to throw it in to see how it tastes, to see how my body handles it. For example, when I'm not going to say which one of these companies, but when I ate one of my first freeze-dried meals from one of the companies that I have here, I kind of like got an upset stomach. Well, that's because I'm not used to eating that food, right? I've been used to eating this for a really long time now. So now when I introduced a different freeze-dried food into my meal plan for that day, I got an upset stomach. Why? Because I'm not used to it, right? So that also brings into account that you have to rotate your things. Try the things that you get, all right? Try everything that you get at least once or twice. Make sure you and your family like it. And if there's specialty items like this, right, or maybe like this right here, then you can take these things out to break the monotony. All right, when life starts getting a little bit boring because you're eating the same thing every day, take one of these guys out. It breaks the monotony, brings up morale. So let me tell you about this one right here. This is a Backpacker's Pantry, and this is the blueberries with granola, and it's really good. Okay, it's really good. All of these dishes or meals that I'm sharing with you today, they're good because I have them. I have a lot of them because they are good. These guys don't have the nutrients that Nutrient Survival does. None of them do. But they are good, and it's good to have something different every once in a while. So what would I do to fix this in order to make a nutrient? What I would do is I would add a serving of Nutrient Survival powder milk, vitamin milk, add water to it, and there you go. You got your nutrients. So there's always things that you can do in order to put nutrients into your meal if it doesn't have as many nutrients as others do. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is why in the world do I have so much Peak? I just purchased all of these pouches of Peak yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you why. Because, like I said, Billy from Frontier Preppers introduced me to the Peak, and I thought it was good, so I went out, and got some more. But the main reason I got this, it's your fault, Canadian Prepper. It's your fault. All right. I was planning on stocking up on these little by little. I got quite a few pouches yesterday, and I'll probably go over there and get some more when I do my butane tank purchases every other week or so, but I'll get some more little by little. But the main reason why I got these is because Canadian Prepper got out there. He did a video about Peak saying how good it is. And I'm like, I better go get what I was planning on getting anyways, because people are going to watch that video and they're going to strip the shelves of Peak. Now, thankfully, when I got there, the shelves were pretty full, and I ended up getting what I wanted to get. I got like a few of each so that myself and my family can try it. That way we know which one our favorite ones are of that brand, and we can buy some more. So why am I doing this? Am I stabbing Nutrient Survival in the back? Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. Eric and Becky and all of the Nutrient Survival staff know how much I love their product. It is the best that there is, period. You're not going to get more nutrition than Nutrient Survival. But let me show you another example. I've actually had these for a very long time, and I did a video when I got them because I got them at a really good price. Now, this is called Eden Valley Farms, and they make this, and this is all non-GMO, all right? I don't think it's all organic, but it's all non-GMO. I actually interviewed the gentleman that runs this company on my channel a long time ago, more than a couple years ago, I think. And what they do instead of using oxygen absorbers in here is they use nitrogen, right? So they flush it with nitrogen. That's why you can see that the packs are still a little bit puffy. But this, for example, is Southern style chicken and rice. This is very similar to the Southwest medley that Nutrient Survival sells. And it's also very similar to the adobo style rice dish that Mountain House sells, except it doesn't have any meat. This is also an all-vegetarian company right here. So it's good to have variety, even if it's the same type of food. Variety, ladies and gentlemen, is going to help to get you through those boring days when you get into a routine. They also make a cheesy mac, which is actually pretty good. I remember reviewing this with you all, I don't know, a couple of years ago at least. And this is actually pretty good. So having a variety of things, not only in your food, but in everything else, is kind of like a contingency as well. Let me tell you a couple of the reasons why it is that I think that having freeze-dried foods in your preps is a good idea. I covered this, I think, during a live stream. Not sure. You all know that I'm a little bit senile, but I'll cover it again. The reason why I think that freeze-dried foods are an important thing to add to your preps, if you can. I never recommend, and I've never suggested to anyone that has started to prep, go buy freeze-dried foods right away. Never. I've always said, always stock up what you eat every day and get at least a 6-month to a 1-year supply in your pantry of that before you start expanding out into long-term storage foods. The reasons why I think freeze-dried foods is a good idea is for a few reasons. The first one, I think, is the most important one. If you're ever in a crisis where you don't want anyone to know that you have food, then cooking food from scratch really makes a lot of an aroma, and people can smell it from far away. Freeze-dried foods, more than likely, all you have to do is just heat up the water, put it in there, seal it for a few minutes, and it's ready to eat. And if you don't have any hot water, you can still rehydrate it with cold water, although it wouldn't be as palatable, it'll still be safe to eat. So that, in my opinion, is the most important part. The second one is, if you've just started a crisis, let's say just something happened that's out of your control, a hurricane, a tornado, whatever it may be, okay, fill in the blanks. Then instead of having to go through the stressors of having to plan your meals throughout the day, guess what? Add some water, right? Add some water, you're good to go. You know, you have a nutritious meal that tastes good, and it should taste good to you, because if you stocked up on it, it's because you and your family liked it. You're good to go. So you don't have to worry about making meals. All you have to worry about is having something to heat up your water with. All right. And then the third reason that I would choose is because it's light, it's compact, and you can take with you really easy. So if you need to go out the door really quick, you can grab a couple of buckets, take them with you. Then all you have to do is worry about some water. So, of course, in your bug out bag, one of the things that you ought to have is probably a good water filter. Okay, because no matter how much water you store, eventually you will run out. So a good water filter, something to heat up water with, your freeze-dried foods, and you're good to go. All right, those are some of the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, why I feel that having freeze-dried foods in your preparedness plan is a good idea. And of course, I've gone over the reasons why I think that it's important to diversify your food preps, not only in the things that you eat every day, but have at least a year's supply of that before you start venturing out to getting freeze-dried foods. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another thing that I want to cover really quick before we end this video is this. Make sure that you have fuel, and make sure that you have a small stove or something that you can heat water or cook food in. Because all of this freeze-dried food right here, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have something to heat up the water, like I said, you can still rehydrate it with cold water. It's just not going to be that palatable. So that's kind of like defeating the purpose in a way. So let me go ahead and bring this up to all of you. To all of you that are nutrient survival fans, I'm going to go ahead and put this out now. That way you can be informed for the next couple of weeks here. So for those of you that are not nutrient survival fans, that would never buy nutrient survival, have a great day. Thank you very much for joining in. But for those of you that are nutrient survival fans and want to get more nutrient survival, then this is for you. In the first week of June, I believe it is. I have to get the exact date, but I'll put that information out as soon as I get it. In the first week of June, we're going to have what is going to call the Alaska Prepper Bare Bones Bucket. It's going to be a bucket with what I consider to have the bare bones. No gimmicks, no nothing. It's just going to be a good price on a bucket, and Nutrient Survival is going to give me a very good AP code, right? A very good AP code, better than AP10. So it's going to be more than 10% off. It's going to be a flash sale that's only going to last like 3 days, all right, for the 15% off. It's going to be AP15, all right? So for those of you that are wanting to get Nutrient Survival and are saving your pennies in order to get it, hold off till about the first week of June or so, and it's going to be good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been working on this one for a while because supplies are tight in the supply chain, obviously, and I wanted to get everyone that wants to get Nutrient Survival the best possible deal that you can get. That way you can stock up. In all reality, I'm not trying to scare you here, okay? But I'm just telling you what I honestly and truly believe. I believe that in the future, the next 6 months to a year or so, it may become extremely difficult for these companies that make freeze-dried foods to be able to put out a lot of product, or at least the same amount of product that they used to put out in the past. And I think it's going to become a lot more expensive. I believe that this is going to be one of those years where it's going to be the last year that we have time to prep on what I still call the cheap, right? Because things right now, ladies and gentlemen, are cheap compared to what they're going to be a year from now or 2 years from now, especially a couple of years from now. All right. So hold off on any purchases right now. If you were going to make a purchase from Nutrient Survival, in a couple of weeks, I'll put out the information, and it's going to be a great deal, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So having said that, I hope you got something out of this. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.